Hi guys, we're back
Again. You know the drill.
I'm Amirah,
I'm Raven.
and this is
Unfiltered.
Round of applause.
Yeah. Well, this is part 2 of our boundaries series, the second and final part to the boundaries series. You know, it's still jam-packed.
Yeah.
We have 3 more categories for you all. You know, as I ended last week's episode, kind of giving them the sneak peek into it. It's going to be personal and self boundaries, so the boundaries that you hold with yourself. It's going to be spiritual boundaries, and it's going to be sexual boundaries. So, you know, we have a loaded episode. I want to say maybe trigger warning for mention of like sexual assault later down in the episode. So if you know that's something that you're not comfortable hearing, then you know maybe this might not be
the one for
the
you.
episode.
Yeah. Oh, I
but
mean,
you
we'll
can listen up until that point.
up
Yeah, and
until
we're
that
like,
point. Yeah. Correct.
So let's get into it.
So, I think let's start off with the personal boundaries first.
For sure.
I feel like out of all the boundaries, I mean, of course, all boundaries are equally important, right? But I feel like the boundaries you uphold to yourself is the most important.
Yeah,
right?
I agree.
Because, I mean, at the end of the day, it's you against you. Like, full stop, the end.
It should be a team.
Exactly.
And it's only you against you if you're not upholding the boundaries. But if you are, then you're locked in.
Yeah, I mean, so many times we would say, okay, for example, right? Like, I'm sure a lot of us do this thing when we have like New Year's resolutions.
Right? Yeah.
Like, those are promises you try to uphold to yourself.
Yeah.
Right? Not to anybody else, but to
Just
yourself,
to you.
right? And you, a lot of times, more often than not, we end up breaking those promises to ourselves.
Yeah.
And that falls into upholding personal boundaries to yourself, right?
I agree.
And like, I could tell you, I'm trying to be a little healthier.
Right, yes.
Trying to exercise more, eat healthier, and that has plummeted. That has really plummeted. And I feel like I didn't even view it as breaking a promise to myself and breaking my own boundary until we started discussing this topic. And I'm like, wait, this is a little deeper than I thought it was.
Yeah.
And like, I was trying to say, like, it's not that deep, but
it is that deep.
It is.
Everything is that deep.
And it's like, I'm sure we try to keep so many promises to ourselves. Like, you're trying to wake up, like, it could be anything from the little things to the big things. Like, you're trying to wake up earlier, you're trying to eat healthier, just trying to be healthier in general.
Trying to be a better person.
You know. You trying to give other people boundaries. Like, you're trying to
that is part
your
of your
boundaries to other people is part of
your self boundaries.
Yes, exactly. Right. And it's tough to really uphold them and stay disciplined.
Yeah.
Because trust me, I really struggle with that, you know. Like, discipline is something that I am still slowly learning. And I say slowly because
it's not
hard.
It is. It is, especially if your background is in not knowing how to uphold boundaries. Like I would have mentioned last week with, your parents not teaching you how to have boundaries for yourself is something that you have to learn on your own. So it's this long road of learning through your experiences, learning from errors, and it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be quick.
And like, I feel like I must say though, like, drawing back to like, I remember last week we would have also talked about how your parents kind of try to like shield you from certain things.
Yeah.
Mistakes need to happen in your life for you to learn, grow from them.
And like, better they happen when you're young.
Yeah.
Than when you're old and you're out in the world, people expecting you to know certain things, or people more malicious. I mean, not to say that people aren't malicious to you when you're a child, but it's like people like, let's say you're 25, right? Other 25-year-olds who maybe were not shielded and were allowed to learn from their mistakes, they would have a certain level of knowledge. And then you come out now, you don't know nothing. And people often use their increased knowledge to manipulate you when they realize, oh, she innocent. And then, mess now.
Listen.
But I think with the personal boundaries, we spend a lot of time looking outside of ourselves and looking at how people hurt us, that we often miss the opportunity to look within and be like, okay, where am I betraying myself? Where am I crossing lines with myself? And what role am I playing in people crossing my boundaries?
Yeah.
Because not all the time is a matter of you relay a boundary and then people continue to cross it. Sometimes you're not relaying the boundaries.
Yeah.
Sometimes you're not speaking your truth. And that is a self-betrayal.
Listen, speaking your truth is, you need to relay and communicate. Like, I mean, we would have talked about this last week, right? Like, communicating. Because, again, if you don't speak up, then how would other people know?
Exactly.
So, yeah. You go through so many things. Like, you need to look internally. And I feel like sometimes you might think the problem might be other people, or like just generally an external problem. But like, I can assure you, like, once you look within, right, and you try to just, even with maybe the other person, right, even when you look within and be like, okay, how can I be a better person, and how can I draw boundaries with myself and try to be disciplined and try to just be my most authentic self.
Yep, there it is.
It all draws back to being your most authentic self. Once you just try to do that, a lot of things will like smoothen itself out and be much easier to process as you go along.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So, yeah, I have personal boundaries. Like, I am fed up of crossing myself.
Yeah, that is it.
And it comes a time I'm like, listen, if it was another person, I would be way more stricter with it. But because it's myself, I kind of like slack off about it.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, I crossed this boundary, but I will do it tomorrow. And then tomorrow I'm like, well, I'll do it the other day.
Yeah.
And I'm like, but I would never do that with the next person though. Like, I will respect another person's boundary, like, once they set it. And I'm
if they
like,
said, this is what we're doing, this is the plan, we're meeting up tomorrow and we're doing this thing, you go in.
Yeah.
If you agree to it, you go and show up. Because you don't want to let people down or whatever, but you're letting yourself down a lot of the time.
Yeah, and it's like, if you say, okay, I want to put aside time to, say, journal, meditate, whatever, right? You're doing this for yourself. Say, okay, tomorrow 6 p.m. Tomorrow 6 p.m. reaches and I'm like, I'm too tired. I'm not really feeling to do this. And then it keeps being prolonged and put off, right? But come on. Like, I'm saying this, but like, this is a message to myself as well.
Yeah. Like,
I need to be more disciplined with myself. Because it's not cutting it right now.
Like, it's good that you're able to see that and say that, because it's only from that place of recognizing this is not working that you will actually put in more effort. But sometimes you get stuck in that loop of prolonging and because you're not seeing yourself as important, or not as important as the other things in life. So it's like, oh, work is more important than this, and this is more important than this, and then you end up putting yourself last.
And you are the most important person in everything. And like, this is the most important out of all the boundaries.
Exactly.
Like, of course, again, I will say all boundaries are equal, right? But like, this is yourself you're talking about.
And it impacts everything else. You could only uphold work boundaries. You could only uphold sexual boundaries. You could only uphold physical boundaries if you have a good relationship with yourself and you value yourself and your truth.
Yeah, because when you neglect to those boundaries, it's kind of like you're neglecting yourself.
You are.
You don't want to neglect yourself.
Exactly. That's a consequence of not upholding these boundaries.
Yeah.
The relationship with yourself suffers.
And you, like, the relationship you have with yourself is the most important relationship you would ever have. Like, not your mommy, not your papi, not your boyfriend, not your husband, not your best friend. Of course, those relationships are very important, but it all stems from you.
Yeah, that's the foundation.
Yeah, that's the foundation. Yeah.
And I want to segue into spiritual boundaries from here, because I think the relationship you have with yourself and the relationship you have, well, we are spiritual beings, right? Like having a human experience. So I think like your spirit is tied to your authentic self and your truth, right? So when you lack boundaries, like the other categories that we would have mentioned, it's because on some level your spiritual life is not strong enough. Like within yourself, your soul, your relationship with your soul is not strong enough.
That's good, because I think like generally, like I would say that you are a much more spiritual person than I am. When I say that, I mean that I'm a spiritual person, yes, but I feel like
we all are. Yeah.
I'm now learning new things about this, and like I'm now opening my mind to learn more about it. And like in a short time, because I had like this whole struggle with like religion and spirituality and like finding my way and like all of that. And I feel like only within the past year and a half, I would say, is when I feel like I properly started my journey.
Right.
And I am so intrigued by everything, but I feel like it's a lot, and I feel like I don't know where to start, but I started somewhere, and I feel like that's the most important thing.
That's why, because it's not like something outside of you.
It's within, right? And it's really all within, and I feel like I was at a point where I was like, maybe I need to just Google things and talk to other people, but it needs to start with me and making conscious decisions about certain things.
Yeah.
And
the self boundaries.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where it starts.
And like just being more intentional, and again, authenticity. Like all of those things are tied in with being more spiritual. So it's crazy. I was going to segue into something else, but yeah, I just have to say that.
Yeah. And I mean, for me, like, I know we have similar backgrounds with regards to religion being kind of imposed on us, and, you know, like finding your own way.
Yeah.
And moving from religion to spirituality. Like, I was an atheist for a while. Like,
the same, actually. It was like, actually, okay, so I grew up in a Islamic household, right? Really strict. And there was a certain time, like, for some reason, ever since I knew myself, it just felt like something was not right.
Yeah.
And it's not something I could explain to anybody, but I just felt like something was not right. Like this God thing.
Yeah,
like,
boy.
When I say this God thing, I do believe in God.
Yeah.
But the religion itself, something felt wrong and something felt off. And I just couldn't put my finger on it, right?
Yeah.
And as I got older, I did my research, and I'm like, to me, I just can't understand. I'm getting a little religious here, whatever you want to call it, right? But I just can't understand why they say in Islamic text, in Christianity text, they will tell you, don't worship idols, right? Because idols are man-made, right? But at the same time, religion itself is a man-made thing.
Yeah.
So that kind of contradicts itself, and like, I don't really understand that. And I'm like, I'm reading the Islamic text, and like, obviously, I know things from the Christianity text, and I'm like, it's not making sense to me.
Yeah.
Like, this God would not allow all of, like, this God that you all preach about. Exactly. And then I'm like, okay, well, maybe I don't believe in God. Well, like, growing up, that's what I thought, right? Maybe there's no God. And I was like, okay, I was getting really like scientific at a point in time. I'm like, there's the Big Bang, and this is like everything is just, it have a scientific explanation for everything. And then after like going through that whole period, I'm like, no, there's something more. There is something more. There is some source, something.
Yeah, I love the term source. That resonates with me because it doesn't sound like, somebody pulling the strings or somebody giving you rules or whatever. But source is like, we all came from somewhere.
Correct.
And I mean, for me, setting spiritual boundaries entailed, at some point, stopping the going to church thing. Because, as I shared, my father's a pastor. So for me, going to church was mandatory.
Yeah.
That is church on a Sunday, Bible study on Wednesday, prayer meeting on Friday. They had many children's choir on a Saturday. I didn't want to do all that, dog. Like, free me. But so I started working at Westby's.
Yeah.
And they had me rostered for a Sunday. And my mom, she's like, so you can't tell them you have church on a Sunday and that you need to go to church? So I'm like, no, I can't do that. Whole time I ain't ask her nothing. I have no intentions of asking.
Yeah.
Because first of all, I don't even want to go to church. And then when my working time there was up, I had no excuse, but I still wasn't on that, So a day I just say, I just not going. I lied her in my bed. She come in the room. She's like, what you doing? I'm like, well. She's like, it's time for church. I'm like, I'm not going. She's like, what? Girl, get up, eh? I'm like, I'm not coming, dog. And she was vexed. She keep coming back every once in a while to check and see if I'm moving yet. And, that was the start. So the next week, I do the same thing. She still come every week and wake me up and say, yeah, time to get ready. And that was it. I mean, it was a fight down. Yeah. But eventually, they just realized, okay, this not happening. And it turned to them inviting me now. So it's like, hey, we just want to invite you to church on Sunday with us. And I'd be like, nah, I good, thanks, sir, but no. And before I used to argue about religion a lot with them, so I would pick out things and I'd be like, this don't make sense, that don't make sense. What about this fact, this book that was taken out? Like, I'd present all these things, right? And the household was very tense. It's like right through we just arguing. And at some point, religious boundaries for me became, I'm not going to argue about religion. I'm not going to discuss it, even if this is what I believe. Silence. If they start fighting down or thinging, but how you could, my mother's sick. I can't believe after all this you're lost, I can't believe you would do this kind of thing. Like, she just thought, I don't know what has happened. Like, if she see something and it just trigger her, and then she just come and start, how you could go down this path, and whole time I living in love.
Like, I would say though, like, sorry to cut your guys, so like, as it thought like fresh in my mind, they love to say that you're lost. They love to say that and like you lose your way.
If you think about who's really the lost ones,
honestly, yeah,
it's not getting into it too much, child.
But yeah, and the thing is, like, I would find myself like avoiding conflict so much just to keep the peace.
Yep.
Because I hated having to, and I mean, like, I don't want to get too much into that, but I feel like a lot of times I more often, like, when growing up, the house I used to live in, I feel like I used to be walking on eggshells every single day because of, like, people get upset and slamming doors and raising the voice, and like all of that just make me want to walk on eggshells and just be like super nice to everybody, because like I don't want to be faced with that now. And it take me so long to break out of that. And I feel like I don't want to say that's part of my anxiousness every day, but it's like every day or every other day just dealing with that, like growing up is kind of
it will affect you. Yeah.
And Yeah. But this, like, now knowing, like, what path I want to follow and knowing that clear path I want to follow is like drawing that boundary from my family and what they believe in.
Yeah.
It is hard, right?
Very.
And I mean, like, I still haven't come out to say, well, I don't really believe in Islam, right?
Right.
I still haven't come out to say that, but I feel like at least if I have that boundary within myself,
Yeah,
that's
you know
the
your
most
truth.
important
Yeah.
thing. And like, I mean, I went to my mom, like, short story, like, the last time I went to mosque, my relative tried to set me up with this guy, and I'm like, arranged marriage type shit. And that's like, I told him no, and he kept on like kind of like insisting now. And I'm like, dog, what the hell? Like, you are crossing my boundary. Like, how could you do that now? And I don't know what it is. It's just like everything about that religion, just like something about it that just
it doesn't resonate with you.
Yeah, it doesn't resonate.
And that's
with
the
me.
thing, right? With religion. I'm like, I don't have a problem if you believe what you believe, but give people their like grace to find what resonates with them.
Yeah.
So if that's you, we don't even have to bash anybody. We don't have to say anything about what's wrong and what, even though there's a lot of factual stuff and we could debate it, right? Like, but we're not going to. Just grace.
I would say though, like, ever since like me previously saying that I just knew something wasn't right.
Yeah.
But I always knew that within my heart, like, all that matters to me is trying to be a good person to people and a genuine person to people. And that's all that matters.
Religion to tell you to be good or how to be good. And
I know some people might not agree with this statement, but it's the people that tries to preach the most and try to write holy scriptures every day on social media, right? And try to only share religious posts and always be talking religious talk. Those are the least
loving
people.
Yeah.
Because, oh, you want to talk, oh, you're this and you're that, you're so religious and blah, blah, blah. And then when you meet up in person, you're gossiping, you're judging people, you're bad talking people.
Yeah.
Like, it makes sense.
And it's I don't want us to get too
true. I feel like we could go
on and on with this. It's just how you use it, as with anything.
Yeah.
If you're using religion to look down on others or to separate yourself from others and say, okay, I'm on this pedestal, I'm doing the right thing, following the right path, and you not. So, like this, oh gosh, I was going into a story. When I was at the boss had a man come in and he started preaching. He's like, the end times thing. He points on people. He's like, have you accepted Jesus? Do you know Jesus? This lady, she's like, me? He's like, yes, you. Yes, ma'am, you. He asked the lady, you know Jesus? She said, yeah. He's like, all right, I come in and sit down next to you. I don't want to sit down next to nobody else. I want to sit down next to my sister in Christ. That people who have not accepted Jesus, they are not my brothers and sisters. And I'm like, okay, whoever helps you sleep at night, buddy, right? And this is using religion to divide, right? Heated, but boundaries.
Sorry, I just need to say a short story like about this again literally yesterday, right? When I was trying to get, it's a short story, quick story, 1 minute, right? I'm walking through City Gate to get a maxi to go up the road, right? And walking through City Gate, this man is preaching. I was telling about the devil is do this and that, and the lady next to me was like, amen. So I started to laugh. It was like, it wasn't like, it was just spontaneously, right? Like I couldn't help myself. The woman watched me and she's like, it's true though. I wasn't going to quarrel with the woman.
Yeah, exactly.
I couldn't help it, but I was like, that's just so funny. Anyways, yeah. Boundaries.
Yeah. Yeah. For me, like, having, in terms of spirituality, is finding my own path, finding your own way.
Yes, yeah.
Getting to know yourself. This is where spirituality and the self boundaries connect again, because it's like, as you figure out what's your truth and what is your authentic way of being and what resonates with you, that's when you know, okay, well, this is what I think like you believe in source.
Yeah.
Right? This is what I feel within me. I believe that love is the answer, and I just need to live in love, and that's what resonates with you. And you live in that. So meditation for me has been very helpful for just like getting into my own energy.
Yeah.
Just like close out everything and just get into the zone. And it has also been helpful for picking up on other people's energy as well, because I know what my energy feels like. I know what my baseline is. I know what it is to be grounded.
Yeah.
So when I'm in a certain space and I feel a particular kind of energy, is okay, this energy feeling off. This feels aggressive. I could use it to guide me and set additional boundaries.
Yeah.
Because it's not like, somebody is doing something outwardly for you to respond and say, okay, this person did this, so I need to set a boundary. It's just, okay, I'm picking up on this energy, so I'm just going to set a boundary. And it doesn't have to be like shunning anybody or anything, but it's just like, okay, I'm just going to remove myself from this space, I am not going to share intimate details or, just set boundaries with yourself based on what your spirit tells you or your soul tells you.
That's so true. And I feel like you sometimes have to learn that the hard way.
For sure.
Because sometimes you wouldn't realize how much certain people drain your energy. And something you were saying about like the love thing is like, I tell every person this, like, and I don't know if I would have probably mentioned this on the podcast before, but I always try to spread love and light everywhere I go.
Yeah.
Like, and I know it's probably such a cringy ass thing to say, and I'm sorry, but that is the simplest thing I could say, right?
I get you.
It's like, if I could have a conversation with somebody and leave them feeling a bit more loved or a bit more inspired or anything, like, that's amazing to me, dog.
Yeah.
Damn. Yeah. And like the whole meditation thing too, I can't meditate.
Yeah, I remember you saying that.
Maybe, I don't know if I probably need to keep trying, but like
I think
my mind just, like, I know everybody's mind doesn't have a shut off, right? But like it's to the point where like I genuinely can't really concentrate.
Right.
Like I have a huge concentration problem too. So I don't know.
With meditation is like, so there's I guess general, when people say, okay, meditation, this is what it is and this is how it's supposed to be, right? You sit down, you quiet your mind, you don't think at all, you just keep it quiet. And this is part of the journey as well, is figuring out what works for you and what doesn't work for you.
Yeah.
So meditation, it doesn't have to be the way they say it is, like you just sit down and quiet. Like you're allowed to have thoughts flowing, you're allowed to, sometimes meditation is just creating a moment for yourself. So you sit down, if you want to put a little soft music on, show, whatever, but you're not on your phone, you're not doing anything, it's just you're taking a moment for yourself. You just sit down. If it's you, just sit down, look at the sky, just let me say 5 minutes of just looking into your environment, just breathing.
Yeah.
And whether your thoughts running or not, that's fine. And that could be a form of meditation for you.
I think so. I think I maybe need to like go back.
It's all you. It's just experiment, see what feels good for you, see what feels right for you. And it doesn't have to be meditation, but
true.
The more you just sit with yourself, ask yourself questions, ask yourself what feels good to you, what helps you feel calm. Anything could be meditation. Anything could be
like
spiritual.
Sitting with yourself is so important.
It really is.
And as we would have mentioned in the last episode, like you need to look internally. Ooh, that was giving me a little boop. But yeah, you really do need to look internally because it all starts within. It all starts within. It all starts there.
Yeah. And I think as far as consequences go, right? If you're trying to uphold spiritual boundaries, that could cause a lot of conflict in your family.
Yeah.
It could cause conflict with people who don't understand your path, because not everybody's going to understand you. So it's like, why is she doing that? She thinks she's better than everybody. She thinks she this, she thinks that. But they just don't understand, and it's okay.
Yeah.
And if you worried about people understanding you, and you're like, I don't want to go this route that my soul is taking me on because people will think this or people will think that. That you are putting a wedge in your relationship with yourself.
That's
true. You can't afford to do that.
I mean, everybody always wants to feel seen and heard and understood, right? But like for me, I am really good at the point. Like I need to stop saying this phrase. I'm at the point. But like for me, it's having that. Like I know myself and I know what I believe in, and other people don't need to understand.
Exactly.
Right? You don't need to understand, and I don't need to tell you.
Or right? The explaining thing. Like
I used to do that so much, like over-explain myself.
Yeah.
And even up till now, I need to like be like, wait, I don't need to over-explain myself. Like I don't need to explain myself on why I do this and why I do that. Right? If you ask, I will give you an explanation.
Yeah.
Right? But like that's the thing. I feel like I always like over-explain myself so the other person could understand.
Yeah.
But like I don't need to go through all of that now.
And it's almost like you want to defend yourself.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah. I don't need to do that.
And I like not gonna lie, I still find myself doing that right now. And yeah, I find myself doing that sometimes, but compared to how it was,
yeah,
definitely eased up and improved from that. But yeah, boy, it's really I just comfortable knowing with what I believe now, and if anybody asks, I will give them an answer. But I am good with just it being me, dog, and like
and finding your people along the way.
Yes, because listen, you might always feel like this is something that I learned. Like I felt like I was low-key kind of alone in this, like stepping away from the entire community that I kind of was brought up in. Yeah. But then in doing so and being my most authentic self, I found my people. Yeah. And like I was telling Rifa, it's like I didn't even know this type of friendship was possible. Mm-hmm. Right? Like the friends that I have now. And I was like, but the thing is, you could only get that type of friendship once you be your most authentic self.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
you would be surprised. So if you're thinking like, oh, I may be too weird, I may be too this, too that, be that.
Yeah.
And by being that, you will more than find your people. And that bond and that connection is amazing. It really is amazing.
It really is. Yeah. It really is. Oh. Yeah, I love it here, honestly.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, if you think about the past and like the journey of the boundaries, boy, calling it that, you can make a movie.
Journey of the boundaries,
dog. That ticket sales prices up.
Skyrocket.
Like, no, it was really a lot. And we had to lose a lot. You had to sacrifice a lot. You lose people, family relationship, like things get complicated, like it's rough in the moment. And I mean, some of the things I never thought I would overcome it or get past the hurdle, but I chose to, stick with the part that was authenticity. I had many instances where I could have say, all right, this not feeling safe, fall back.
Yeah.
Can't put the mask back up. But it's being like, all right, well, it is, things are a little scary, it's sticky right now, but keep going forward, and it's been rewarding. It's been more than rewarding.
The journey, like once you start and you make that decision, right, it's going to be tough. Like nobody said it was gonna be easy.
Yeah.
Because it's gonna be tough.
Nobody told me the road would be easy, and I don't believe you brought me this far.
Quick little singing sesh.
Yeah.
So yeah. You wanna lead into our next?
This is the chunk
points
of the matter, right? Sexual boundaries.
Wow.
So we just had a visitor, a little moth or something. A moth or a butterfly? I don't know. He's like, yeah, let me listen in.
The devil?
He's like, what y'all talking about over here?
Sorry. You started talking about sexual boundaries. I was watching this video, but it is this ritual to summon the devil, and it was like when the moth is present, that means the devil is present.
Bruh.
Sorry. I'm sorry.
Was that like a TikTok or like a movie?
No. Sam and Colby on YouTube.
Nah.
They're like paranormal investigators kind of thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I really love paranormal
Not
stuff.
the moth.
It piques my
The
interest.
moth means the devil is present. Please. Please. Child. Because I watch in your face, and I see the absolute horror on your face. When
I just really don't like bugs.
Okay.
No, I just really don't like bugs. If the devil is here, hi.
Please.
Nice to meet you.
Listen. And you know what? Befriending the shadow. Befriending your dark side. Like everything that they tell you, push away, and everything that they tell you is unacceptable. All these repressed things. That's another topic.
Yeah.
We're talking about sexual boundaries, guys. This is the trigger warning again.
Yeah.
So this is the point at which you could, say this is enough, and So for me, the journey with learning sexual boundaries, honestly, one of the toughest things I've had to learn. Because as with all the others, nobody is helping you enforce them, and it's trial and error. And I mean, if it's with emotional boundaries, for example, if you say, okay, somebody crossed my boundaries emotionally, you can make real mistakes and things. It will hurt, but But with sexual boundaries, trial and error with sexual boundaries is crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because the consequences.
And the thing is that, like, I would say for this one, there should be no trial and error.
Yeah.
But unfortunately,
People.
well, it's so dusty.
And the way I don't even think it's a tustiness. I think it's something controlling, or something is deeply wrong. Because, with me in the beginning, there was a lot of freeze happening, and there was a lot of denial.
Mm-hmm.
So, let's say I set a boundary sexually, and then it's crossed, right? First of all, I'm gonna freeze because what the fuck? Bleep.
You heard that burp? Wow, sorry, I didn't know the burp was gonna come out so loud.
No, I did not hear your burp.
Oh, I thought he was laughing at the burp.
No, you're good. Because I don't know, actually. Me over here wondering if my curse came out, because I was like, what the F?
Oh, shoot. I didn't.
So I wheeled on two different
I
pages.
think I burped the same time you said that.
Child. Anyway,
yeah.
So, my boundaries violated, and I'm like, why would they do that? There's no rational answer for why something like that would happen. So I start going about it in my head, like, maybe I, so I didn't want to talk about that, actually. I was going to go into a story, but I was like, you know what? Mm-mm.
Of course, yeah. Share what you're comfortable with.
Yeah. It was, the violation happened, and I'm like making up things in my head. Maybe I just feel this way because something with me. Maybe it was really a mistake. Maybe this, maybe that. And I'm like in denial. I'm talking like for like a whole year kind of thing. And it takes the person like hurting you again in a way that you cannot like twist and turn. And then it's like, oh, right,
Yeah.
right. So this is what we're doing. And you have no choice but to accept it,
Yeah.
And denial was like my shield in the past in terms of navigating having sexual boundaries crossed. And coming to the point of just being able to accept the truth, even if it hurts, is a million times better than being in denial and staying with people and places that hurt you just because you don't want to believe that that's what really happened.
Yeah.
It's best you accept the truth and just get it over with. End the relationship, end the connection, come out of that space, leave who you had to leave, and just, truth will save you so much pain and so much time lost and just confusion, because you're lying to yourself, and then in your head is like, no, this actually happened. And then it's like, no, that didn't happen. And this back and forth, boy.
I feel like a lot of times as women, Like, I don't know about you, but I feel like sometimes you blame yourself.
For sure.
And I feel like I see this with so many other women too, like, they blame. And they blame themselves. And they're like, okay, well, if I wasn't this, if I wasn't that. And then, like, with society too. Like, society, like, well,
they'll blame us too,
the way that she dresses, the way that she talks, but at the end of the day, no means no.
Yeah.
And it's like, a baby could say no. So it's like, no is no. Like, it's not hard English. It's not this, is not that. Like, no means no. And when the situation happens, right, it's like you keep replaying the situation over and over in your head, and you'll be like, well, maybe
if I had done this differently,
then, like, besides the blame, you start second guessing yourself. Well, was it really like, actually bad, or like, was it actually my fault? It wasn't his fault. It wasn't, like, you just
it's such a confusing experience. Like, I cannot, like, fully explain the mental, like, just mess that's be happening when a sexual boundary is crossed. I don't know. And for me, in terms of blame, I know for sure that it was easier for me to blame myself than to accept that this is what happened.
Yeah. Because you look for the easiest.
Easiest. And it's so messed up when blaming yourself is the easiest route. Then that's when you know how truly messed up this thing is.
Yeah.
For you to turn on yourself and say, nah, that's my fault. That had to be real messed up.
I would say though, I feel like this ties into what we was talking about on the episode where we spoke about things that raise pressure in TNT with the maxi. Like the maxima and the schoolgirl is like, and the blame that the schoolgirl gets.
It's always the people who receive the pain, the manipulation, the abuse.
And it's really sad to see that goes on. And I feel like I don't have like the current statistics, but I know it's like less than 10 women. Like, it's like 1 in every, how much ever?
It might be 1 in 3 or 1 in 5.
Something like that's that. Roughly around. That's terrible.
There's 3 women in this radio station today.
Just think about that. And like, I know what my experiences were. I know you know what your experiences were, but it's like, that's crazy to think about. And sometimes you'll be like, something what happened to, and you're like, well, nah, that would. Nah. Nah.
But yes, girl.
Yeah, because sometimes people, like, I feel like a lot of people think a sexual boundary, when that boundary is crossed, is like, it doesn't mean like exactly one thing. As crossing a sexual boundary could mean there's different levels.
Ways,
Exactly. There are multiple. So don't think it's just like one way. A
like it had to be a stranger in an alley. Kind of.
Listen, there's so many things that could happen, and it's a scary place out here.
It really is.
And like, I feel like this is one of the boundaries that's most painful.
For sure.
Because sometimes it like messes you up so much, and it takes such a mental toll on you. And I mean, some women don't even recover. No, I say in women because we're predominantly talking about women, right? But I mean,
and
like,
our experience.
Of course, like, men go through the same exact thing. Like, we're not like putting off, like shunning that off, right? Obviously, those experiences do happen, right?
And
but we're just talking about like our experiences, right? But these women like never recover from and heal from the experiences that they had, and it's really it's sad.
And it ties into parenting too, because a lot of times you don't know what your mothers go through, and this goes for guys as well, of course. Anybody with a mother, right? Your mother, like, she mad, she don't like man, and it's like, be careful with these men out here, and then even just like parenting from fear, and a lot of it comes from the stuff that she would have experienced.
Definitely.
So it's like they paranoid.
And you know, like, I would always get like, my mom raising me, I'm an only child, I'm
only girl,
right?
That's serious.
Like, when I growing up, like, I kind kind of got tired of hearing like, oh gosh, the same thing over and over.
Yeah.
But like, as I get older, I appreciate. I really
I
appreciate
understand now.
all of that, what she was telling me, because she's right.
Yeah.
She's right in everything she was telling me, and people are predators. Predators out here.
Yeah. I feel like the approach matters as with anything. Like, don't just ball up at your child and don't be going around man and thing. Like, relax, be open, share your experience if you have to, and really just build a actual emotional connection through the storytelling.
I feel like in this day and age too, like the generation our parents grew up in to our generation is really different. And I think sexual education is really important to have right now. And like sexual education in schools more so is so important. And I remember recently, when I say recently, I can't remember how long ago this was. If it was the last year or year before, or a couple of years ago, right? But there was a suggestion to have like sex ed in schools, right?
Yeah,
which I think is
really
so
against
important,
it.
and we're really against it. And I think it was the
churches and stuff.
Some Hindu board, right?
Yes,
they were
yes.
No. And I'm like, y'all would rather have home ec class, right? Teaching people to cook and shit, right? But wouldn't educate people on sex.
And bro, so many children are being abused. Like,
it's sad.
I could still remember now, like from primary school, as early as primary school, having a classmate share that her stepdad was abusing her.
Yeah.
Secondary school, friends being abused. It's like, it's so common. It's much more common than people think. So, let me stop beating around the bush. We need to have the education.
Stop, like, this is Caribbean thing, this whole taboo thing around sex. Everybody has sex. Let's be real, right?
Yeah.
Everybody
you
has
think
sex.
Having the sex ed class is going to make children have sex?
Come on. Like, it will educate these kids on what is right, what is wrong. Because a lot of times...
Teach about consent. We need to be teaching about consent in schools.
Because these kids don't know. And a lot of times, like, the parents never have these talks.
They don't.
With these children, because, you know, like, they're like... Well, my child don't know about this, and they don't, because they shielded, and then when they go out there, it's a whole different world that they are being experienced to, and you don't know what they're talking about.
This is why we struggle to set boundaries, and this is why we will go through this turmoil and blame ourselves when these things happen to us, because nobody is saying, hey, nobody's teaching you, well, hey, if something like this happens, it's not your fault. This is what this is the truth. And I mean, maybe if we had that education, it might have been easier to, you know, it might have been less denial or whatever, because okay, well, actually I learned in class that this is what this is. So it's just truth one time, and you could just process it without the denial. But I don't know, for me, especially with sexual boundaries, I had to learn it in stages. Like, I'm talking this year, I ended a friendship with somebody who I was previously in a relationship with, right? And it was like a sexual boundary was violated. I was still in the relationship with the person, but I expressed to them, okay, well, we can't, no sexual stuff because a sexual boundary. So I'm thinking I'm matching boundaries, right? So no, nothing sexual, but we're still together. And then like months later or so, I was like, well, why would this person if this boundary was violated? So I'm like, okay, we can't be in a relationship anymore. And I realized that, right? But we're still friends. So it's like this gradual like peeling off and like realizing that, okay, I'm setting boundaries, but I'm not setting them right, or I'm not setting them fully in the way that I need to be to actually honor myself. And then only this year is where I was like, we can't be friends anymore. And of course that didn't really go well, but I don't care. I don't care. Like, you did what you did. Like, how you vex? And then, well, of course, this is a consequence of not...
Who vex lost?
Tell them again. This is a consequence of not upholding boundaries the right way. So the way I did things, where I kind of stretched things out, I was still friends, we were still together. So they kind of threw that back in my face. They're like, but we were still friends all this time, and this and this and this. So, how you could be bringing this up now or whatever, right? So, I'm thinking to myself now, well, everything could have been prevented if I had set boundaries right from the beginning. If from the time that violation happened, I had just say, all right, F you, and I go on my way, right? But it didn't happen that way. And I mean, it's a learning process, obviously. So it's not something that I blame I don't beat myself up about it. I see like, wait boy, like I really could have do better with this, but I know better now, and like I really do play. Like that was my last lesson. Like I've been through enough.
No, but like that just goes to show how much, again, like you've grown.
Yeah.
Like you making that decision to cut off that person,
Yeah, like
even
fully.
though like whatever happened was in the past or whatever, right? But like you making that conscious decision now, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Like you making that decision.
It's been like 2 years since it actually initially happened. So like real time did pass for real. But and I believe that there's no limit, like it's never too late in terms of realizing your truth, right?
Yeah.
So, I would have been saying like when you come to realize your truth, voice it right away.
Mm-hmm.
We don't always do that. Time does pass. But no matter how much time pass, if you have the opportunity to voice your truth and live in it,
correct,
it's never too late.
Because I feel like you might still be wondering. It will always be replaying in your mind until you set that record straight.
Yeah.
With yourself.
Yeah.
Like it all comes down to yourself. Like yes, you setting a boundary with the other person by cutting off the friendship, but you doing that for you.
It's for me, yeah.
For you.
So it's not like I don't have nothing against you. I'm not trying to, mess up your life or whatever, but I'm doing this for me.
And you're the most important person in your life.
Yeah, literally. Yeah. I refuse to make anybody else comfortable if it's making me uncomfortable. Enough.
I have struggled with that too long.
Yeah.
Trying to make everybody else comfortable, and I'm the one left suffering, uncomfortable. And I am done doing that.
I'm done.
We're done. We are done.
We're done.
Bye. No, we're
wrap
not
it up.
But it really does make a drastic change when you set these boundaries in place.
Yeah.
And when you set these boundaries, again, I'm gonna say it again, like it all ties into you being the most authentic.
Yeah.
Self.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And it gets easier.
That's so true.
So we were talking about the comfort zone.
Mm-hmm.
So the comfort zone before, as it pertained to sexual boundaries, would have been, I don't really want to fight up, or I'd rather blame myself.
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather stretch out the truth, denial or whatever. And I think that's the safe place. But then you step out of your comfort zone and it's like, no, accept truth. Tell people, hey, what you do was wrong, right? What you did was assault, right? Like, tell them to their face. Like, do not be afraid to tell these people, hey, what was that?
Yeah. And like, especially to any guys that listen here, check up on your brethrens now.
Yeah,
like, put your brethrens in check.
Put them in their
know
lot
your friends, because a lot
of y'all are friends with rapists.
Mm-hmm. We're looking at you. Because I see it a lot, and for me, like especially lately, I've been noticing who is friends with who.
Yeah, I'm watching you.
To me, it's like, I don't know how to explain this, but it's like every time I meet someone, interact with someone, I get the source of like I get a source of the energy, or like what the vibe is like, right? And I don't know how to say it trick to the people that seems authentic out there is not. Like, and I don't know how to explain that to people. And like sometimes I'll be like, am I crazy? I still second guess myself sometimes up to this day. When I see certain people lying with certain people, I'm like, am I the crazy one?
Yeah.
But then I know what you did.
Yeah.
And I know what you're doing, and you are friends with this one, so it had to be that
some days of a flutter.
It had to be that something.
And usually time will tell.
Yeah.
And I have doubted myself enough. Like, I'd be in situations where it's like, nah, maybe they don't know, or like I'd make excuses for this person being around people who are like known abusers and things, right? And it's like, nah, like I'm doubting myself, doubting my intuition. And it usually gets me in some shit, bro. So I'm like, I've had enough shit. I'm not going to doubt myself. If I feel what I feel, I pick up on that energy. I'm going to remove myself from the situation. And I'm going to tell you nothing. And it's like, I don't hate you. Like, I have nothing against you, but I'm going to remove myself because I'm doing that to protect me.
Yeah.
And take care of myself and set my boundaries.
And I feel too sometimes it is be kind of hard to like set that boundary because that person, you know that person that is wrong, but that person still treating you normal.
Yeah.
And it's still treating you nice.
And especially when it's like they're like in the community as like a nice person. So when you pull back and you're like, nah, I'm not really on them.
It makes you kind of
look bad.
Yeah, correct.
And like, and honestly, like I have to not. You have to not care, and you have to care about yourself once again more than other people. So if everybody else and if everybody in the community is saying, well, nah, she just thinks she better than everybody.
Yeah,
and that's why she getting on. So think what you want.
Honestly, yeah,
I know my truth.
Yeah, you knowing your truth is the most important thing. It doesn't matter what anybody else says. Because none of that really matters.
Literally none. In the grand scheme of things too. And especially when I know that me being authentic is going to put me on my path to my blessings, is going to make me meet people who are aligned with me. Of course I go and do that.
Of course.
All of them can think what I want and think, but I'm meeting who I need to meet. The right doors opening. Like, I good, you know.
That's true.
I good.
The right doors are opening
because you have to close some first.
Yeah, and like sometimes it's sad because sometimes like even your friends, you might have to close those chapters
for sure. Gosh, this year
it's hard, you know. It is hard sometimes, but again, like you said, in the grand scheme of things,
it's for the best.
It's for the best, and it always works out. Sometimes you don't understand why certain things happen as well. And then later on, just give it some time.
Yeah,
and I show you
puzzle pieces will sort of fit.
Yeah.
Wait,
I could do a puzzle right now.
It's actually been a while since I've done a puzzle. We do a group puzzle, like get one of those big ones.
Yeah, I haven't done a puzzle since like primary school though.
Damn.
It's been a while.
Yeah, I've definitely done one like as a teenager. But you know,
new hobby in
the hobby just dropped.
Yeah. Anyways, that was puzzles.
Yeah. As far as consequences go, the place I am in now, like because I've had my sexual boundaries crossed many times, and some of it is like people just outright, like after I've communicated it, it was violated, and some of it is I didn't speak up, or you know, I didn't hold somebody accountable, and just staying in spaces longer than I needed to be.
Yeah.
So that's like me taking personal responsibility and seeing where, okay, I could have done better for myself. I could have done this, or I could have done, not blaming myself, but seeing where I could have done better. So now I'm in a place where I don't make joke, you know. I don't make joke. I'm not willing to betray myself.
I feel like to this whole speaking up thing, a lot of people don't speak up because of the entire stigma around it.
Yeah,
and
it's hard.
People kind of feel ashamed, you know.
But there's a lot of shame involved.
Yeah, and that's the thing is, you're not supposed to feel like that, right? You're not supposed to feel like you're ashamed at all, but I mean...
Yeah, it's how society is.
Yeah.
Because I mean, even though we're saying this and we're saying like, you know, stick to your authentic self, you're going to meet your right people, that doesn't mean it's going to be easy. Like that journey, it can be very isolating.
Yeah.
You will find yourself alone a lot of the times, you know. People wouldn't believe you, or people, they do believe you and they know the truth, but they're still choosing abusers over you kind of thing. Like, and they can't control that.
Yeah.
Can't control that, but I don't know. I don't know. I wouldn't change that.
Yeah.
In terms of setting the boundaries and yeah. And I have enough trust in myself now because I've proven to myself that I'm willing to stand up for myself. I know that I could face, God forbid, a sexual boundary be crossed again. Like, God forbid. But I feel like if something happened, I could handle myself. Or like if there was a risk of somebody attempting to, like, again, loud up. Like there's no silencing myself or like trying to quietly navigate a situation. No, I will make noise.
That's amazing. That's a really big step.
Honestly, I don't know. I mean, there's still shame, like in terms of if we are talking about family, right? Like I talk in my business real big on here, but the way my family doesn't know what is been going on with me, you know, like bro, these things that I've been through, them don't know nothing.
Yeah, honestly. See.
Yeah, and I want to keep it that way.
See.
I feel like maybe before they pass, like I would want to share certain things. Like I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. But yeah, this has been the end of the heaviness, the boundaries, and literally the end of the heaviness because we're in a new zone now.
Yeah, it feels lighter.
Yeah,
I'm reusing a lot of these same words.
Yeah, but
these days. So yeah, this is a great topic, and I hope
the spirit, your body, your sexual energy. Learning how to navigate that, and we're more rooted in ourselves now. So
rooted, that's rooted for real. And I hope, at least if anybody that's listening is like struggling, with like setting boundaries, know that you are not alone, and it's okay to set boundaries, even though it may make you seem in a bad light or whatever the case may be. Like, just be your most authentic self.
Yeah, what she said. Yeah.
So that's a wrap for today's episode, and we'll see you guys next week. Well, we'll listen. You listen to you guys next week. Well, you guys will hear us next week. Yeah. You guys will listen to us.
You better be listening. Bye.
Or else.
Dun dun dun.
Bye.